You want spaghetti, but you want something a little different. So how about this? A nice creamy baked spaghetti pasta dinner. So of course the first thing we've got to do is cook the pasta. You get yourself a nice pot with some salted water. Bring her up to a boil. Meanwhile, we're going to get our ingredients ready. So we need about a half an onion should do. We're going to chop that up fairly thin. So I guess I didn't quite use the full half onion. You go with what you want to use. And of course, while we're at it, we might just as well chop up the rest of the onion, put it in the fridge for the next time we need it. Okay, let's put them aside, finish chopping the rest of that onion. There we go, that's about 2 cups I've got of onions. Oh, I want some peppers too. We've got some peppers in the fridge. If you've never seen this trick, this is cool. You take the pepper, you put it upside down, and you basically cut from the bottom to the top, and that way you don't have to worry about seeding it by the time you're done. There you go. Check that out. You've got your pepper slices ready to cut, and you got one little thing of seeds right in the garbage. And we're going to chop these down, just the one. We're going to chop it down nice and small. So we're done with the peppers, and we're going to put that in with the onions because I am going to saute them down the road. Alrighty, on to our spaghetti. The water's boiling and we're good to go. Now normally when I make spaghetti, I break it in half. It's just an old habit from when my kids were little. Make it easier for them to actually eat. You know, come to think of it, my mom used to do it that way too. She actually broke it up smaller than that for the little kids. So it works. And it'll work out really good in this pasta dish. So we've got around a half pack of spaghetti, so that's about 1 pound. And we're going to cook this up al dente. We don't want it too cooked. A, I don't like overcooked pasta, and 2, it's going to cook a little bit in the oven, so we don't have to get too carried away. Got our frying pan, medium heat, a little bit of oil, and now we're going to cook down our onions and peppers. I got that they would cook in the oven, and they would. I find that if you par cook things, whether it's onions or peppers, bacon, whatever it is, and then it goes in the oven, it comes out a lot, it doesn't seem as raw. But once we're done getting the peppers and onions down to something nice, we throw in our pound of Hamburg, a little bit of water. I find that the water just helps when you're trying to break down all that ground beef. And we'll play with it, keep mixing it around until it gets cooked down to pretty well where we want it. And once again, because it's going in the oven, it doesn't have to be 100% cooked. We'll get it close to that. A few minutes, the ground beef is cooked, and now we're going to go on to our next step. Our spaghetti's finished cooking, so let's get it off the stove. We're going to drain it. Now, I guess if you wanted it to stop cooking, or you were going to be a little while till you were using the pasta, you can throw some cold water in it. That stops it from cooking more. This is all going together in the next couple minutes, so I don't think we need to do that. So now it's time for some spices into our hamburger mix. A little bit of red pepper flakes, some garlic. Of course, you gotta have a little bit of pepper. And if you want salt, go ahead. I chose not to. Now it's all done. The last ingredient that we're going to put into this part is a can of spaghetti sauce. I just grabbed something out of the cupboard. Just happen to have that one. And for what I'm going to do with it, it'll work. Because you do need liquid, especially when you're going into an oven. The next thing is our creamy mix. That's why it's called creamy. And we need sour cream, cottage cheese, and some cream cheese. So first up, let's get a bowl. And we're going to put a cup of sour cream in. Followed by a cup of cottage cheese. Don't freak out, this works. And of course, I let it sit out for a couple hours to warm up. 1 pack of cream cheese. So now we're going to take my hand mixer and carefully, ever so carefully, give it a mix until we get it to a nice consistency, like that. And we'll set that aside. And now it's time to assemble. So I've got my casserole dish, put a little bit of spray in just so that I'm not sure if it's going to stick, the pasta, and when we bake it, to be on the safe side. So now we need a bed of spaghetti to start with. Your call on how much you want to put in. I would try for about half. And then of course we're going to make 2 layers, so half of our cream cheese mixture. And carefully spread it around so it's as even as you can get it. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to put half of our ground beef mixture on. Now, yeah, it does look watery. It will bake down a bit. We're going to even that out just so it looks nice. Doesn't have to be perfect either. And you got to have cheese. So my usual Tex-Mex mix. You don't need a ton, but it depends on how much you want. I put enough to cover everything. Then we go to our second layer and repeat. Now that fills up the dish really well. We get that cheese on top and into the oven. 350, 20 to 30 minutes. It's just got to melt everything. Everything's cooked. That is a creamy oven-baked spaghetti. You got to try this. That was fun, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, leave me a comment below. Give me a like. I'd sure appreciate that. And if you haven't done it, please subscribe. Hit the bell. That'll tell you the next time I upload a video. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.